I think it was Abraham Lincoln who said that the beaver has everything that man needs to lead a happy life. Intelligence, ingenuity, a peaceful nature, and a good set of teeth. This is Henry Fonda. For the next hour, I hope you'll join me in a never-before-filmed adventure through the fascinating world of the beaver. When European explorers first came to North America, beavers could be found in almost every forest stream all across the continent, from the Arctic Circle right down to northern Mexico. The beaver has a wide range of talents. He's a jack of many trades and master of all of them. This furry fellow is a lumberjack, a construction engineer, a wildlife conservationist, a drainage expert, an architect, and a landscape planner.
Beaver, build your dam, stretch your ponds across the land, irrigate for Uncle Sam and make yourself a home. Up in the hills where the waters run, the beaver's having himself some fun. See the furry son of a gun making himself a home. Glide, glide downstream, in and out to the carpet bream, and all the time he's got one dream of making himself a home. Timber, I'll fall down, trees are tumbling to the ground. Better watch out when he's around, making himself a home.
Beavers live in houses called lodges, which they usually build in the middle of the ponds they create by damming up streams. When the pond is frozen during the winter, the beavers stay in the lodge. Baby beavers, known as kittens or kits, are born in the early spring, just as the sun is melting the ice and the water and woods are coming to life again. Babies are born with full coats of fur and with their eyes wide open. So even at an early age, they seem pretty independent. But in fact, beavers mature very slowly. And it will take 2 years before these kits will have learned enough from their parents to be able to strike out on their own. The beaver has such an agreeable nature that it takes some time for the young to understand what enemies are or where danger lies. Scientists call the North American beaver Castor canadensis. Here's the young fellow we're going to follow in this story. We'll just call him Castor for short. How exciting the whole new world of the pond is for a young beaver. Castor's parents spend many hours helping to put a real polish on his natural swimming style. He can hardly control the urge to get right out and explore the pond. But first, his parents make sure that he understands everything about the water, which will be his greatest security in later life. He's learned to recognize the traditional beaver sign for danger. When his mother slaps her tail down hard in the water, Castor crash dives first and asks questions later. In a panic, Castor and his brother dive and then get separated. All of a sudden, Castor discovers that he's a very small beaver in a very large pond, with danger lurking somewhere, everywhere around him. All he's got to keep him company down here are his own shadow below him and his own reflection above. And who knows what lies on the other side of that dark patch of weeds ahead? His mother? Or a hungry otter? Or a grizzly bear? He's safe this time. His mother finds him, and they're each pretty glad to see the other. Every kid knows what it feels like to be lost and how good it feels to be found. For 2 years, Castor and his family have lived happily together in the beaver pond. But each spring, there are some new additions to the family. And, well, pretty soon, the pond begins to suffer from something like urban sprawl. There just isn't enough room or enough food for everyone. To solve this housing problem, someone's going to have to move. Castor is now fully grown, and his fine, furry body is about 2.5 feet long from his nose to his tail. His tail, which is covered with scaly skin, adds another foot. He's been eating pretty well, what with the new spring leaves and all, and he weighs in at about 40 pounds. This idyllic life is about to come to an abrupt end. Castor has been thinking about settling down and finding himself a wife, but he's surprised when he finds out that his parents wanted to leave the pond. When he doesn't take the hint, his mother explains it to him more plainly. They fight. Sometimes beaver parents will even kill offspring who refuse to leave. It's nature's way of making sure that there aren't too many mouths to feed and that this year's young have the best chance of survival. For Castor, caught in the vice-like grip of those sharp orange teeth, it must seem impossible to believe that this is the mother who looked after him with such loving care. Castor goes. He's on his own. In beaver ponds everywhere, families have been breaking up like this, and it doesn't take very long before Castor discovers a friend in need. It's his good luck that she's just the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. Look at those sensitive eyes. And, of course, any girl wearing a fur coat's hard to resist. The Indians who used to live near these mountains called the beaver Amik. So that's what we'll call Castor's new bride. It's love at first sight. And together they set out to find a home. They head for the hills. They come to a pretty mountain stream. But it takes more than scenery to satisfy their demands. They take a look around, and this one just isn't good enough. Seems pretty disappointed. But Castor gives her a reassuring smooch, and they set off again on their search. Castor and Amik crossed the broken surface of an old lava flow from the time hundreds of thousands of years ago when these rugged old mountains were proud volcanoes coughing fire and smoke. They've climbed pretty high into the hills now, but they seem to sense that the right place lies somewhere ahead. What's this? It's an angry badger. But a grown-up beaver is nothing for a badger to mess around with, and a honeymoon couple. The badger knows to leave well enough alone. Beavers by nature are total pacifists. Fortunately, they have very few natural enemies. Sometimes they upset other animals, but it's purely accidental. Here's a spotted sandpiper that's made her nest in the grass right in Castor and Amik's path. She thought this would be a safe, out-of-the-way place to hatch her eggs, and she hardly expected this miniature beaver convoy to come tramping towards her well-hidden nest. Suddenly, Castor turns away and goes off to investigate the other side of a fallen tree. But Amik is on a straight collision course. To draw Amik's attention away, the bird pretends to have a broken wing. Her quick thinking saves the eggs.
We will return to the natural world on the Discovery Channel.
Challenge, Wings of the Luftwaffe, the Adventurers. It all begins tonight at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
We got a letter from a drummer, Steve. I'm in the band Royal Bust, and all of us drink Snapple. We'd like to be endorsed by your company.
Snapple presents in aisle 5, Royal Bust.
Way it tastes, it's just so fine, I drink it all. Baby, all the time, it's got the flavor that can't be beat. Snapple, it's delicious, no artificial ingredients are giving natural Snapple.
Made from the best stuff on earth.
Hi, this has to be in LA tomorrow.
No problem, sir.
LAX, prepare for approach.
With express mail from the Postal Service, you're never left in the dark.
Yes, your package is in LA and being delivered.
Morning.
From just $9.95, we track, we trace, we deliver for you.
Hey, Mom, what's that white thing?
See, new Whitewater Zest.
Uh-oh, it's gonna get me. Smells good.
Zestfully clean.
There, doesn't that feel smooth?
Soap leaves a film you can feel on your skin, but new Whitewater Zest rinses cleaner than soap, so your family's skin feels smoother than soap.
Yes, smooth.
Zestfully clean.
You're the guy who took my zest.
Poor Daddy.
New Whitewater Zest.
You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
Hi, I'm Doug McConnell. If your dream is adventure, get ready for the Discovery Channel and MCI's Big Adventure Sweepstakes.
Just call 1-800-955-6510 by August 8th. You can win the ultimate adventure anywhere in the U.S. for you and 3 friends and family. 500 winners get $25 of free long distance. Plus, join MCI and automatically get the official Adventurer's Backpack and a free month of long distance service up to $25.
Don't just fantasize it, live it. Call now.
Geysers of Yellowstone. Monday at 10 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
When it comes to home comfort, there are many contemporary issues. Mediterranean, a family-owned and operated company since 1968, along with Lennox, has solutions to these issues and more.
Are you tired of skyrocketing utility costs? Lennox equipment can reduce your power bills by up to 50%. Let the comfort professionals at Mediterranean conduct a free energy evaluation of your home and existing equipment. Mediterranean offers a full line of quality Lennox products. Lennox and Mediterranean, geared to customer satisfaction.
4370966. It's how to get 25% off AT&T calls to any one area code you select any time of day. It's free. Plus, we'll give you 15% off the rest of your calls. So, like I said, AT&T could save you more than MCI or Sprint. And you didn't believe me. Call now for 25% off where it means the most. Just another part of the iPlan.
We now return to the natural world on the Discovery Channel.
The perfect stream with plenty of delicious aspen trees nearby. Maybe it doesn't look like much now, but with a little imagination and a lot of eager beavering, with a dam here and a dam there, this gently flowing stream will spread out into a natural pond which will be every bit as good as the home they've come from. They do some careful exploration, making sure that the depth of the water is just right and checking which way the current flows. The verdict is excellent. Underwater, it's every bit as good as it looks. But there's bound to be a snag somewhere. For instance, it's a great neighborhood, but how friendly are the neighbors? In the security of the water, the beaver is actually a match for a mountain lion. Still, it's a close call, and it takes Amik quite a while to unruffle her fur and calm down. Beavers have specially split nails on their hind feet that act as combs, and their front paws actually have moving fingers, which they use very much like human hands. To make themselves really slick and fast in the water, the beaver covers itself with an oil called castoreum, which it manufactures in glands under its tail. The beaver's coat is a valuable fur. It was beaver skins which led trappers inland when North America was just being settled. And no fashionable gentleman in Dickens' London or in Louis Napoleon's Paris or in Abraham Lincoln's Washington would consider going out without his beaver hat. In fact, until someone discovered that you could make good hats just as well out of silk, it seemed as if the beaver might be hunted into extinction. Castor and Amik get right to work. They'll have to build a dam to turn the flowing stream into a still pond before they can build a house or lodge for themselves to live in. There used to be a lot of controversy about why and how beavers build their dams. For a long time, people believed that they actually had some kind of intelligence which enabled them to figure out just the right kind of dam needed for each stream. Nowadays, it's generally accepted that their dam building is purely instinctive, and it's just something they do without having any reason or intelligence behind it. But that really doesn't make the beaver's skill any less impressive. They begin building the dam by carrying sticks and small trees from the bank and placing them underwater with the butts facing upstream. They anchor them in place with mud and stones and then just build up and out. After the dam is built, the beavers will keep it in constant repair. A dam may be as tall as a man and hundreds of feet long. Each one is different, designed for the job it has to do. Beavers aren't just engineers, they're architects too. Now they can begin building their lodge. Castor and Amik work hard, and they deserve an occasional leaf break. A short snack of aspen leaf, or willow, or birch, or wild cherry is really a pause that refreshes. In the early spring, they can feast on water lilies. Plants and grasses make a pleasant change from the menu of tree bark that they have every day in the winter. Amik shows that she's a real dainty eater, and it's not just because she's a lady. Water means security, and even when he gets his food on dry land, a beaver always feels safer if he can eat it in the water. stomach uses her almost human hands to grip and turn the twig. Then she nibbles away at the bark just as if it were an ear of corn on the cob. She tops the meal off with a few leaves for dessert. You know how you never find out how many friends you have until you build a swimming pool in your backyard? Well, Castor-nomics' new pond has suddenly become a sort of neighborhood recreation center. Here's a raccoon over for a quick swim. Since beavers are such darn friendly animals with very sociable natures, they don't mind having visitors. But the raccoon is pretty discreet about the whole thing, so Castor just leaves him alone. Beavers are one of nature's best swimmers. They can keep a lot of air in their lungs, and their whole metabolism slows down in the water, so they can stay under for up to 15 minutes without having to surface for air. While the raccoon keeps himself afloat with a kind of frantic dog paddle. When this badger came down to the pond, he probably only wanted a cool drink of water. First, he has to clear a place in the thick green pond weed that covers the surface at the edge. By this time, he decides to go all the way. He isn't exactly Olympic material with his water treading style, but he has a good time. Castor just goes on his way. Striped bathing suits are very popular with skunks this year, and here's one who has come to try his out in the beaver pond. Castor swims out to greet this fashionable visitor, but the skunk is shy and hurries away, with his luxurious tail spread out behind him. Here's a porcupine who stopped by to cool off. He looks sort of sad and almost cuddly as he lumbers around with his sharp quills softened by the water. Actually, the quills are hollow and help him keep afloat. It's too bad porcupines can't ride bicycles. His swimming style would look more at home in a bike race than it is in the water. Here's a cousin of Castor's, a muskrat who acts like a kid who wants to sneak in a swim without anybody catching him. Castor just glides quietly along, lazily using his webbed hind feet to propel himself. Sooner or later, everybody comes down for a swim in the beaver pond. Beavers do more than just provide a neighborhood swimming pool. They are nature's best conservationists. Beavers benefit almost everybody. From the tiny pine squirrel who can sun himself in safety on top of the beaver lodge, to man himself who can build houses and even towns on the good, rich land which the beaver has reclaimed from rocky riverbeds and sparse, tree-covered hillsides.
We will return to the natural world on the Discovery Channel. Pet-proofing your home next on Mac and Mutley.
By nature, cats are choosy. Some even choose their owners. But Iams knows cats depend on people to give them what they need. More meat. Cats crave its taste. Meat is so important for eyes, muscle tone, skin and coat, and energy. And since there's more meat-based protein in Iams than the leading dry cat food, your cat will love it. So choose Iams, and your cat will be glad he chose you. Because more meat matters, insist on Iams.
Some things were made to fade away, but not Dutch for. Ooh, we got to look that land. We got to look that land.
Mixed nuts never give you enough of your favorite nuts, but new Fisher favorites are all favorites. Pecans, almonds, peanuts, lightly coated with luscious flavors. Toffee, honey glaze, praline, plus large whole cashews, so...
That's my favorite. No, that's my favorite.
Every nut is your favorite. New Fisher favorites.
It's Fisher flavor, it's just plain nuts.
From the mustard fields of Dijon, France, comes a delicious idea to Hidden Valley. Honey Dijon Ranch. A touch of tangy Dijon mustard. A drizzle of sweet honey, blended with the original ranch dressing from Hidden Valley. Discover tangy, sweet honey Dijon Ranch. 3 very special tastes in one sensational salad dressing.
Taking a camera into a whale's world.
The whale suddenly turned towards Tony and rammed him.
Recapturing the first moments of flight. Filming an angry shark face to face.
The great excitement of coming through it unscathed.
Now you can go behind the scenes of the Discovery Channel with the exclusive video, Secrets of Discovery. How do you get it? It's free, only when you subscribe to Destination Discovery, the award-winning monthly magazine and program guide that heightens your viewing. Intriguing articles that cover your world, from whales, wheels, and wings, to faraway, fascinating places. There's no better guide for planning what you want to watch on the Discovery Channel. Call 1-800-832-8343 now and get 12 issues of Destination Discovery for $19.97. That's 1/3 off the cover price, and the home video is yours free. Call now, 1-800-832-8343.
We now return to the natural world on the Discovery Channel.
Not only small animals benefit, the moose owes a lot to the beaver. Moose like to eat young willow shoots better than anything else. And the meal this moose is enjoying was made possible by beavers. When they cut down the big trees all around the pond, the young willows and tasty weeds spring up all over. Here we can see how a rich, thick green covering of tiny plants called algae has grown up on top of the water. When the cold, clear mountain stream is held in by a beaver dam, it becomes still. And when it is warmed by the summer sunshine, these millions of microscopic cells build up into a kind of lush green curtain which grows above and below the water wherever the sunlight penetrates. One of the main beneficiaries of the algae are the fish in the pond, who find all kinds of food in it. To Castor, the algae is no real inconvenience. He's such a powerful swimmer that he can get around even with pounds of the stuff clinging to his back. The algae also serves as a snack bar for birds. Here's a pine siskin grabbing a quick bite while clinging to a reed stem. Beaver ponds are also favorite homes for nesting waterfowl like ducks and swans. This family of young mallard ducks should thank Castor and Amik for providing them with a home and with an endless supply of juicy weeds. This floating cafeteria attracts some unexpected diners. Here's a raccoon who got himself out on a limb. It's a dead tree washed down by the floods, which Castor and Amik will probably cut up as part of their lodge. Raccoons will eat almost anything, and our friend here is eating the algae. Maybe he wants to add some vegetables to his diet. Castor and Amik aren't aware that they've provided homes and food for so many other animals, but they're very good-natured and perfectly happy to share whatever they have created with almost anybody, even with slippery customers like this one. Like many snakes, this garter snake is an excellent swimmer. He uses the weeds as his hunting ground and lies in ambush waiting for small fish and even toads. One day, Amik decided to go for a swim out in the main river. It turned out to be the most dangerous swim of her life. In the old days, beavers were threatened with extinction because of the demand for beaver hats and fur coats. Today, wildlife services protect them, and trapping is only allowed in carefully regulated areas. But Amik has left the security of the beaver pond and is swimming right into one of these trapping zones. This man is setting a steel trap right in her path. He sets the trap in shallow water, but it's attached to a heavy stone in deep water. When the beaver's caught, it automatically dives for protection and pulls the stone even deeper. Anchored to the bottom, the beaver can't come up for air and will eventually drown. Next, the trapper pushes in some newly broken willow twigs. To a beaver, these are a sign that there's a strange beaver around. If Amik spots them, she may investigate, and her curiosity could prove fatal. The man pegs the trap down, and just before he goes, he paints one of the twigs with some fluid from a beaver's odor glands. Beavers have a very sharp sense of smell, and if the willow twigs don't catch Amik's eye, she'll be drawn to the trap by the smell. Amik swims innocently upstream. She comes to the stone and the telltale wire. She swims towards the trap. But it's her lucky day. For some reason, her curiosity isn't aroused, and she swims back to the beaver pond. The man-made crisis is over, but a greater one is about to begin. Nature herself has an unpleasant surprise for Castor and Amik. Far, far away, in the secret passes of the mountaintops, a fierce summer storm is building up. A few small raindrops on the beaver pond are the only warning, but the beavers can already sense that a mountain of floodwater will soon be rolling down the river and rushing towards them. Their new dam hasn't been tested by a real storm yet. Will it be strong enough to withstand the tons of swirling, raging water? Up in those sullen mountaintops, the elemental forces of nature are engaged in battle royal. Here far below, the beaver dam has stood up to the flood. But there is one small break. Unless Castor repairs the break right away, the weight of the water rushing through it will tear the whole dam apart. He senses the danger from the strength of the swollen current. Once they find the break, Castor and Amick will work nonstop until they have filled it up. They will weave a solid layer of twigs across the top of the break and then begin to fill in below the water level. Once the framework has been restored, the stream itself will help them by washing down debris to fill in the gap. They keep working, ferrying repair material across the pond until they're certain that all danger is past. Their lodge is the most important thing to Castor and Amick. In the spring and summer, it's just an eating and sleeping place. But in the winter, they will die unless it's warm and safe and weatherproof. As the fall approaches, Castor and Amick begin to prepare the supply of food on which their lives will depend in the winter. It doesn't take very long for beavers to use up all the trees near their pond, and unless they can find fresh supplies, they'd have to keep moving all the time. Where the land is level and low, they put their engineering skills to use and build canals which extend deep into the forest. Beavers either dig these canals or adapt existing ditches. They're choosy about their food. They don't like pine, but they can smell a fresh-cut aspen for several hundred yards. Cutting this small tree is just 10 minutes' work. This one might take as long as an hour to cut. Beavers can't yell, "Timber!" So they have to be careful not to get hit by falling trees. Once the tree is down, they'll strip the bark and eat the tastiest pieces, and then bring the branches back to the lodge. A beaver's powerful front teeth can bring down almost any tree. The front of the teeth are covered with a hard yellow enamel, but the back is softer and it wears away more quickly, so that they have an edge like a chisel, which is always sharp. Beavers gnaw at a tree, taking bites in a circular motion. Actually, they have to chew like this because their teeth are growing all the time. Just as humans have to trim their fingernails, beavers have to chew to trim their teeth. Sometimes beavers will destroy valuable timber, but most of the trees are small and have no commercial value. Sometimes they give up on a tree. I suppose it's like taking a few bites out of an apple and deciding it isn't sweet or juicy enough. The bigger the tree, the bigger the chips they nibble out of it. These aspens look like they were cut down by a group of giant beavers standing on their hind legs. But no, they were cut before the deep winter snows around them had begun to melt. Once Castor's cut down a big tree, he bites off the small branches. They're the ones he's interested in for building material and food. Meanwhile, back at the pond, there's someone else who's thinking about food. One of the beaver's greatest enemies is the grizzly bear. Only a grizzly is powerful enough to be able to rip a beaver lodge apart if the beaver's been careless and hasn't made it strong enough. Amik gives the danger signal by slapping her tail on the water, and the grizzly knows that he won't be able to catch her as long as she stays there. The grizzly is furious. He's a mean and hungry critter, so he decides to swim out and see what he can do to the lodge. It may just look like a pile of sticks and branches, but Castor and Amik have built it very carefully, and each twig has been woven into place. You might almost say that the beavers knit the lodge together and then cement it with mud. If the grizzly manages to loosen the outer coating, he'll find that the lodge is about 10 feet deep, and the inner layers of mud will be as hard as concrete.
We will return to the natural world on the Discovery Channel. Pet-proofing your home next on Mac and Muttley.
Anytime, any place, go fish. Anyone, any taste, go fish. Any day, any night, any size, appetite. One place doesn't rhyme. Go fish.
At Long John's, get what you want any way you want it. From combo platters to baked meals, from value packs to $1.99 specials.
You can get your wish anytime. Go fish. Long John Silver's.
Go for one of our 3 great $1.99 specials. And don't forget to add a piece.
Hi, I'm Doug McConnell for the Discovery Channel. Every Saturday night at 10 on The Adventurers, you get a chance to see me live out my fantasies. Now's your chance to live yours.
It's the Big Adventure Sweepstakes from the Discovery Channel and MCI. To enter, just call 1-800-955-6510 by August 8th. You could win the ultimate fantasy adventure anywhere in the U.S. for you and 3 friends and family. 500 lucky winners get $25 free long distance. Plus, join MCI and automatically get the official Adventurer's Backpack and a free month of long-distance service up to $25.
Don't just fantasize it, live it. Call 1-800-955-6510 and enter the Discovery Channel and MCI's Big Adventure Sweepstakes.
Hi, this has to be in L.A. tomorrow.
No problem, sir.
with express mail from the Postal Service. You're never left in the dark.
Yes, your package is in L.A. and being delivered.
Morning. From just $9.95, we track, we trace, we deliver for you.
Sunday, July 4th. Warbirds, wild birds, and our national symbol. First, take a flying tour of the National Warplane Museum with the wings of eagles. Next, journey to its largest known gathering place and see Alaska's bald eagle. Then get a close-up look at the wild turkey on a Discovery Sunday, 4th of July. Sunday, beginning at 9 Eastern and Pacific.
I can get me a new one. At Auto Parts Unlimited, they've got it all.
Like Bendix Brakes and Hydraulics, the people who gave the world a break, the right fix is Bendix. From Auto Parts Unlimited, with thousands of foreign and domestic truck and auto parts in stock now.
Have I got a part for you? Get your parts at Auto Parts. At Auto Parts Unlimited.
It's right here under your nose, a place where the whole world goes. It's so close to you, the San Diego Zoo. So don't just sit and wonder what the world is coming to. Come on along to where you belong in the San Diego Zoo. Hey, you belong in the zoo.
The world's greatest zoo is right under your nose.
We now return to the natural world on the Discovery Channel.
The activity and excitement of the summer begin to slow down, and a warm, calm haze settles over the beaver pond. The sun still shines warm in the long afternoons, but the air is crisp and chill. The leaves turn red and gold, then fall. Before the leaves wither and die, the beavers eat as much as they can to build up as much fat as possible against the winter cold. Autumn is here. There isn't much time now, and Castor and Amik set up their store of winter food. This aspen is about 3 inches thick. In half a minute, Castor has it cut and tows it away. Once the pond is frozen over, all the beavers' food will have to come from their natural underwater refrigerator. Castor has deepened some of the channels leading from the entrance to the lodge, just to make sure that he'll be able to swim to the food even if the ice goes very deep. Day after day, working against time, the beavers bring branches out to the lodge. The surface of the pond becomes littered with tree trunks which have already been stripped of their leaves. Sometimes they sort of hinder navigation. Day after day, as the weather grows colder, the cut branches are brought down into the blue-green depths of the pond. Each branch is added to the row that stretches out from the lodge's underwater door. When the beavers want a meal, they'll just take a deep breath inside the lodge, swim out under the ice, grab a branch, and bring it back for dinner. Since the leaves will soon rot away in the water, during most of the winter, the beavers will have to feed almost entirely on bark. Then one day the leaves are all gone and the mountains stand bare against the cold blue sky. The beavers can still break through the first ice and get a last glimpse of the world of air and light, but in no time the ice will be thick and hard. The winter has come. Only the lodge and the tops of the branches cut for winter food will show above the surface. This will be the first winter Castor and Amik face on their own, and winter is a blue-green ordeal, which many beavers don't live through. While Castor and Amik huddle in their lodge, a whole new world of winter activity takes over in the forests and on the mountainsides. An otter enjoys the freedom of the ice. The grizzly has one last prowl for food before going into hibernation. Winter passes. Beneath the ice, Castor and Amik can feel very satisfied. They have built well, and their lodge is warm and comfortable. They have planned well, and the food supply has lasted. And now there's some new mouths to feed. The beavers mated in January, and Amik carried her babies for nearly 4 months. One day in early May, she gave birth to 5 kits. Amik wanted to be alone with her babies, and Castor had to leave the nursery and move over to the dining area. But when the babies were weaned and had grown some, Castor was allowed back, and he was like any proud pa playing with his kids. It's hard to believe that Castor and Amik can't remember that just 3 short springs ago, they were learning for the first time about the wonders and excitement of the pond, that their own parents were teaching them how to swim and dive. Soon enough, these babies will grow and will have to go out on their own. Our story will begin all over again with Castor and Amik Jr.
Round and round the seasons go, winter, spring, and summer and fall. Happy are we who live through all the winter ice and snow. Life is a game of here and gone. Old ones die and young ones grow. All do come and all do go, but life will still go on. Learn to do as we have done. The world is not for you alone. Man is nothing on his own. All in all are one.
At the beginning of this century, the beaver had almost become extinct. Fortunately, man suddenly realized his value as a conservationist, and today the beaver has returned in full numbers. This is Henry Fonda. Good night.
Coming up next on the Discovery Channel, pet-proofing your home on Mac and Muttley. Then join host Loretta Swit as she meets with alligator hunters and lizard experts on those incredible animals.
Great salads here.
But try it with Bacos.
Bacos?
Better?
Oh, my. Oh, I am in love.
Cholesterol-free Bacos. Makes every bite better.
Hi, I'm Doug McConnell. If your dream is adventure, get ready for the Discovery Channel and MCI's Big Adventure Sweepstakes.
Just call 1-800-955-6510 by August 8th. You can win the ultimate adventure anywhere in the U.S. for you and 3 friends and family. 500 winners get $25 of free long distance. Plus, join MCI and automatically get the official Adventurer's Backpack and a free month of long distance service up to $25.
Don't just fantasize it, live it. Call now.
Pet-proofing your home